Hello everyone, welcome to Just Invest Today, and we have to talk about this man. Bill Ackman sold all of his shares of Netflix, man. This is crazy. This is a matter in like 2 months, 2.5 months. He sold everything off? Is that insane or what, man? He had like what, a 36 or around a 36% loss? That is crazy, but we can learn so much from this. This is going to provide us with a lot of value investing tips, tricks, kind of insights, and how to think about investing because there's so much knowledge to be gained in this quick trade, especially with Bill Ackman. And we know Bill Ackman's history, and this is going to be an interesting video. We are going to talk about Netflix. We're going to break it down and tell me, is Netflix a buy right now, man? Because the price right now is getting kind of cheap. Man, I think people are kind of doubting it. And remember, when people doubt a stock, doubt a company, that's when you want to do a deep dive. So everyone talking about Netflix, everyone's selling it off. That's when you want to get laser focused and find out, is this company valued fairly, overvalued, reasonably valued, getting undervalued? Who knows, man? So let's get into it in this video. Before we do, please like and subscribe to this channel. I'm always providing you guys with so much new content, man. So like it and subscribe. Click that like button, click that subscribe button. So just in January 26th, Bill Ackman bought 3.1 million shares of Netflix stock at its closing price of $359 a share on January 26th for $1.1 billion. When the company closed at $226 on Wednesday, those shares would be worth about $700 million. The sale arrives a day after Netflix disclosed that it lost 200,000 subscribers in its latest quarter, bringing its total global members to 221.64 million. And this is the main reason why this huge Netflix sell-off. It lost subscribers, 200,000. And you have to remember, that's in a mix with kind of them getting out of Russia, and Russia had around 700,000 subscribers. On top of that, they're getting a $2 million subscriber loss. And I've been seeing that a lot of people have been saying that, oh, like the 2 million subscriber loss doesn't really matter because Netflix has whatever, 200 million or 200 million plus subscribers. But in the grand scheme of things, are you seeing how Netflix is kind of turning out and how they're doing all the kind of wrong moves at a time where people are more price conscious than ever? They're raising prices. On top of that, they're saying that you're going to have to start paying if you want to share your account. Previously, they've been advocating for you to share your account and kind of get that exposure out to many people. But now they're saying, oh my God, there's 100 million people out there with accounts that are not paying for Netflix, blah, blah, blah. So that's another headwind. Like, how are people going to take that? On top of that, they're coming up with an ad-supported Netflix. Is that going to cannibalize their original business, their subscription model? Are people going to leave the subscription model and go to the ad business? Like, how is that going to work and how is that going to play out? There's so many questions on what's happening with Netflix. What is it going to do? Guys, Netflix has so much competition. I made a short on it. HBO, Showtime, Amazon, Apple TV. What else? They have Fubo. They have so much competition. Like, it's crazy. They have Disney. Like, there's so many avenues you can take and not buying into Netflix. And on top of that, they're generating free cash flow, right? But that free cash flow is kind of like here or there or here or there because they got to keep reinvesting that money to make new content, make better movies. So if they're not reinvesting that money, how are they really generating that free cash flow? Because so now they're saying, oh, we got to improve margins, right? But when you're improving margins, that's going to kind of reduce the content spend. And if you're going to reduce the content spend, then are you going to be able to produce the same amount of good quality movies or shows? And you already see they're not even producing that many good shows. So on top of that, they want to increase their margins by not spending as much or relying more on their legacy content. Man, like, I don't know. There's so many questions you can ask yourself about Netflix, which is kind of having people on edge, having people not knowing if I should buy Netflix. And we're going to read the Pershing Square letter that freaking Bill Ackman just released because Bill Ackman laid out his investment, kind of his thesis, and why he kind of switched his role and switched his mindset when it comes to investing in Netflix. Because, man, this crash in Netflix is huge because he really lost $400 million on his investment, which is a substantial amount of money, man. I don't care what no one says. That's a lot of money, man. On 2.5, on 2.5 months, that is crazy. So let's read what he's saying about Pershing Square making this Netflix investment and how he sees Netflix playing out or why he sold off. So today we sold our investment in Netflix, which we purchased earlier this year. The loss on our investment reduced Pershing Square Fund's year-to-date returns by 4 percentage points, reflecting the loss. As of today's close, the Pershing Square funds are down approximately 2% year-to-date. While we have high regard for Netflix management and the remarkable company they have built, in light of the enormous operating leverage inherent in the company's business model, changes in the company's future subscriber growth can have an outsized impact on an estimated intrinsic value. So he's saying the growth or the no growth of subscribers is affecting his intrinsic value calculation, because losing 2 million subscribers and not knowing if they're going to gain that back, because pretty much in every single geography Netflix was losing subscribers, and this is on top of markets like inflation going up, a recession is kind of on the horizon. People are more price conscious, and especially in the Latin America, they're more price conscious. And then when you go to India, like all of those places, can you really raise prices there? Even in freaking US, they're struggling to kind of raise prices, and you can see the kind of pushback. But even with the kind of pushback, people are still watching Netflix, and I think they're still enjoying Netflix. So that's where I can kind of see this might be a buying opportunity, because as much as people say they don't like Netflix or, oh, it's raising their prices, I still feel like people are gonna go to Netflix. They're still gonna use it because it still has a brand. It still has a good user face. It grew revenue at 10%, which is not too bad. So even with that, maybe we can kind of see this as an investment. If it gets cheaper, who knows? In an original analysis, we viewed the operating leverage favorably due to our long-term growth expectations for the company. Yesterday, in response to continued disappointing consumer subscriber growth, Netflix announced that it would modify its subscription-only model to be more aggressive in going after non-paying customers in its corporate advertising, an approach that management estimates would take 1 to 2 years to implement. So that's where the short-term, kind of long-term issues come in. So how is this ad revenue new project going to turn out? Like, is that going to have a negative effect on cannibalizing its subscription model? Because a lot of people were banking on the subscription model to provide the revenue. But how is this ad supported? They don't even know how to use ads. They have to go to someone else. So is someone else going to take a cut of that profit? Like, how is this going to turn out, man? While we believe these business models changes are sensible, it's extremely difficult to predict their impact on the company's long-term subscriber growth, future revenues, operating margins, and capital intensity. This is amazing because a lot of people don't do this. A lot of people will see all this coming up, see everything bubbling, but they won't make any adjustments. They will stick to the holdings because they have this extreme bias. But what Bill Ackman is doing, which I really love, is he's changing his mind. He's changing his thesis. That's always exceptional and so hard to do when you have so much money into this company. So that's one of the things I really applaud him about, is you switch your thesis, you switch your stance on a company if you're seeing something different. We require a high degree of predictability in businesses which we invest due to the highly concentrated nature of our portfolio. While Netflix business is fundamentally simple to understand in light of recent events, we have lost confidence in our ability to predict the company's future prospects with sufficient degree of certainty. Based on management's track record, we would not be surprised to see Netflix continue to be a highly successful company and an excellent investment from its current market value. That said, we believe the dispersion of outcomes has widened to a sufficiently large extent that is challenging for the company to meet our requirements for our core holding. One of our learnings from past mistakes is to act promptly when we discover new information about an investment that is inconsistent with our original thesis, and that's why we did so here. His checklist, one of the main checklist items for him, is simple and predictable, free cash flow generative, simple and predictable. He's saying that the cash flows are not predictable now because of this new structure that Netflix is holding now, and how it's trying to implement this new way of generating revenue that Bill Ackman kind of is suspicious, doesn't know a lot about yet, and he just can't have that not predictable cash flows, not knowing what it's going to do in the future. He just can't have that in his core holding. We are in the midst of an opportunity-rich environment for purchasing securities due to the dramatic shift in Federal Reserve policy, the high inflationary environment, geopolitical uncertainty, and the resulting high degree of security price volatility. We therefore expect to find a good use for the Netflix proceeds. So he's saying that there's a better opportunity out there. He has that opportunity cost in his mind. Please feel free to contact investor relations team, blah, 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 for a long-term partnership. So there you have it, guys. See where Bill Ackman is coming from, and that's why he kind of switched his mind on this Netflix investment and lost over like $400 million. So coming back to the valuation and if I should buy Netflix or if you should buy Netflix, honestly, I just don't know. Like, I'm honestly in the kind of same boat as Bill Ackman. Why value a company if I actually don't know if the cash flows are predictable, right? That's what I'm trying to say. That's what it really comes down to. Like, are these cash flows simple and predictable? And do you know for sure that this business is going to be cash flow generative moving forward as more competitors are entering this field very heavily? So I don't know, but man, I'm still have questions about Netflix in my mind. I'm still thinking about it. I still see a future with Netflix as the brand. Its dominance in the streaming business is still there. Like, it's just hard to replicate Netflix and kind of do what it does. So I see the advantages of owning a company like Netflix. So who knows? Guys, what do you think about this huge sell-off by Bill Ackman? Guys, can you please like and subscribe to my channel? I'm always providing you guys with so much new content. Peace!